Hello, everybody. Something funky is going on with my audio. Something funky. Um, Quý vị nghe có rõ không? Hình như tuần vừa rồi nó bị sao á, phải không? Cái nhạc nó sao? Nếu mà quý vị nghe được rõ, I want you to tell me it's clear. Do you hear me loud and clear? Do you hear me loud and clear? If you're watching from the United States, you know what to do. Give me a 1. If you're watching from Vietnam, give me a 2. And good morning, Vietnam. Canada's 3. Let me see some numbers. I'm going to bring this microphone up. As you know, I move around a lot. Maybe I can't right now. Okay. So we got Dennis 1. Thank you, Dennis. Loud and clear. If Fat says it is loud and clear, I trust him. I totally trust him. Okay, everybody. Let's see. Someone is watching from Concord, California. We got Seal Beach. We got Nina in Concord. Annie says she can hear. Okay, everything's looking good. We have Hugh now, and we've got chào cô giáo xinh đẹp của em. Trời ơi. Awesome. Thank you. Okay, of course, my buddy Jim. And Phương always wants to catch a live stream. She never wants to miss one. Very nice. Okay, everybody. I should bring the music down. Bring the music down a little bit. Okay. Okay, I have a busy week. Tuần này đó là Lina sẽ đi convention ở Las Vegas. So no live stream for me this Thursday, but I'm here with you now. And that's all that counts. Okay. Loud and clear on YouTube. Mr. Quang Bui. Very good. Okay, awesome. Hello, Jen. And oh, look, it's Michael from Eagle Brand. Michael from Eagle Brand. Quý vị có nhớ không? Remember when I talked to Michael on the live stream about all those Eagle Brand products, because I am addicted to yo. I'm addicted to yo, and I don't like cái mùi của yo xanh. And lucky me, Eagle Brand has a lot of other mùi, and I love their other mùis. So Jen, if I remember to, I'm going to bring you some for Vegas. Okay, mỗi lần mà Lina đi traveling á, khi nào cũng thích đem chút dầu. Trong xe cũng có dầu, trong bóp khi nào cũng có dầu. Mà nhất là buổi tối, trước khi đi ngủ là phải hít một cái mới ngủ được á. I'm just addicted to it. Nikki No Fees. Nikki No Fee. Okay, everybody. Oh. Wow, this is a newish name. Newish. Someone loves Eagle Brand too. Makes them happy. Yes. Hello, Katie. Rồi, quý vị ready chưa? Good. Jen needs some yo. Okay, I'm going to give you some yo. And we got Kelly. Đây là ai? Cô học tiếng Việt như thế nào? Gì? Sao? Cô học tiếng Việt như thế nào? Vậy à? Chắc học không giỏi, tại vì đọc cái câu hỏi này không hiểu luôn. Là sao? Oh, it's Sarah. Hi, Sarah from Rosemead. Sarah, am I allowed to tell people or not? I won't tell anything if I'm not allowed yet. So, and we've got someone from Arizona. Very good. Now, move the microphone. Whoops. There you go. Ooh, okay. So, was it a week ago or a couple weeks ago? I did a video on term insurance. Quý vị nhớ không? I did videos on term insurance because a lot of people have term insurance. They don't know anything about it. Okay. Yay! I have someone from Florida. I have a lot of clients in Florida actually. Florida cũng là đông người Việt mình ha. Hình như ở đâu cũng có người Việt mình. Everywhere. So someone had messaged me and said, can I do a video on whole life? Because a lot of people don't understand whole life either. Nếu mà nói cho đúng thì rất là nhiều người không có hiểu nhiều về bảo hiểm nhân thọ. And that's really too bad, là tại vì it's important. Và nó rất là lợi cho mình ha. Nhưng mà mình phải hiểu, phải không? Hôm kia post gì trên Post gì trên uh-oh. My mouse is gonna die. This is so bad. Time to juice up. Time to juice up. Okay, I'm gonna try to juice up after the live stream. Câu nói tiếng Việt hay quá. Cô học như thế nào vậy? Học kêu là học đại. Không phải là học đại học nhưng mà học đại. Là actually cô học ở nhà. Là tự học đó, tự học. And biết cô giáo của cô giáo là ai không? Là má cô giáo. Hồi trước là học tiếng Việt tại vì chép lời, tại vì rất là thích ca nhạc Việt Nam nên mình chép lời. Chép lời là viết đại thôi. And then I show it to my mom and then my mom say no, cái này không phải vậy nè. And then she sửa lại, right? She correct me. That's the best way to learn is when someone corrects you, phải không? Of course. Oh, look. Ann Little. Ann and Travis are in the house. Hold on. Ann and Travis are in the house. This deserves some kind of celebration. Welcome, Ann and Travis. Very nice. Okay, so let's get to learning right away, shall we? Yeah, let's do that. Okay, now this is the disclaimer. Okay, this is for educational purposes only, not meant to be taken as specific tax, legal, or investment advice. Why? Because everyone's different, right? You need to talk to someone about your own personal situation because everyone is different. So if you want a consultation, I don't charge for consultations. People ask me all the time, what do you charge? And I say nothing. And still after the meeting, I still have a lot of people and say, what do we owe you? Nothing. So here we go. Mong Dap in Canada likes my voice. Well, thank you very much. Okay. So if you need help, just email me, okay? And I can take a look at your specific situation. So tonight we're going to understand whole life and universal life. This is a comprehensive guide by who? Me. Here we go. Here are the basics of whole life insurance. Okay. Very easy. What is whole life insurance? Whole life insurance is a type of permanent life insurance that provides coverage for the insured's entire life as long as premiums are paid correctly. Okay? So sometimes if people stop paying their premiums, guess what happens? Surprise. Yeah, you lose your policy. It's going to lapse. Okay? That should be easy to understand. Rồi. How does whole life work? Whole life insurance guarantees payment of a death benefit to beneficiaries, là những người thừa hưởng nha, in exchange for level, regularly due premium payments. That means you must pay your premiums. They are level. Level means this. Okay? That means it's going to stay the same. So whole life premium payments are the same. Okay? The policy includes a savings portion called the cash value alongside the death benefit. And in this savings account, interest may accumulate on a tax-deferred basis. Tax-deferred, as it's growing, you're not paying taxes each year on the growth of that cash value. Okay? And the cash value grows on a guaranteed rate. This is the difference, everybody. Guaranteed means what? Là guarantee. Là họ bảo đảm cho mình nha. Là nếu mà họ nói là 3%, you're going to be guaranteed 3%. Okay? Normally, when someone guarantees you something, it's not going to be very high. Like a fixed rate. It's normally lower than if you did something else. Phải không? Yes. Mike Ho is just can't wait to know what's the difference between whole life and IUL. Hold on to your horses. Hold on to your horses. I'll cover that saying on an English lesson. Đợi anh chút xíu ha. I'll get there. Okay. Here we go. Pros and cons of whole life. Okay. This is good. This is an advantage. Whole life has guaranteed death benefit. This is paid to beneficiaries regardless of age at death. So unlike term where you have to die within the term, okay, whole life can cover you for your whole life. So it doesn't matter what age you are when you die. There's a death benefit that gets paid out. There is cash value accumulation. It grows tax deferred and you can borrow against it. Như vậy là mình vào đó, đó là tiền mặt của mình có thể mình lấy ra mình xài được nha. And it's fixed premiums. Fixed meaning the premiums are not going to change. They are fixed. Now, actually, that could be a pro and a con. But right now, we're going to say it's a pro. So if you know this is how much you have to pay, that it's better for your budgeting. Okay, you know that's how much you have to pay. Here's a con. Whole life is the most expensive form of life insurance. Let me say that again. Whole life is the most expensive life insurance you can buy. Okay, term is the cheapest. Whole life is the most expensive. We'll talk about the in-between stuff in a little bit. So normally, if you're paying for a whole life policy, and let's say you've got $250,000 coverage, well, if you purchase $250,000 in a universal policy, the cost would be less. So whole life is the most expensive. That's why normally I don't see a lot of $1 million whole life policies because people can't afford it. Okay? And understanding the cash value component can be complicated. So true. A lot of people don't understand what's going on in their policy. This is why it's important for you to know what's going on. It is even more important for you to have an agent or a financial advisor who can help you. Okie dokie? Okie dokie. And then the cash value generally is, the growth is slow compared to other investment options. So then if you're, hồi nãy Mike hỏi về IUL với là whole life, okay? If you're growing cash value in both of these policies, it'll grow slower in whole life generally because whole life guaranteed 3%. Now, let's take a look at universal life. What is universal life? So this is also a type of permanent life insurance that can cover the insured their whole life. However, it has flexible premiums and adjustable death benefits. Okay? Flexible and adjustable. Như vậy là mình thay đổi được cái tiền mình đóng hàng tháng hoặc là cái tiền tử. We can change it. How does it work? Well, flexible premiums and adjustable death benefit can be changed to meet the policyholder's needs as long as there's sufficient cash value. That means, let's say you're paying and then suddenly you lose your job. And if you lose your job, you can't pay it anymore, so you need to lower your premium. Depending on when that happens, how much cash value you already have, it may or may not affect the death benefit. Okay? So if you've been paying a long time and then you decide to stop or you decide to lower your payment, chances are you can still keep the same death benefit because you've earned enough cash value and that will continue to help you pay for your policy. Now, if you just bought it and then 2 months later you're like, I can't do it anymore, you're going to be in trouble. Okay? Like that's common sense. Common sense. Okay. Here we go. The cash value inside a universal life insurance policy earns interest based on the current market or the policy's minimum interest rate, whichever is greater. As it accumulates, policyholders may take out a portion of the cash value in the form of partial withdrawal or loans. Whoa, hold on, go back. Why? There is a difference between taking a withdrawal and taking a loan from your policy. Như vậy, quý vị đừng có nói cái chữ withdraw. Okay, and then some people look at it and say, wow, it's my money. Why are they calling it a loan? They freak out. No one gets taxed on borrowing money. Like, have you ever borrowed money from the bank and then they wanted to tax you on it? I hope not, because if you've been then you better go back. Đường nào mình cũng lấy tiền ra để xài. So either way, you're going to take money out. But if you call it a withdrawal, you may be taxed. If you call it a loan, no tax. Okay. Here are the pros and cons. An advantage of universal life, it has those adjustable premiums. Okay. Of course, there are limits. You can't buy a huge policy and the next month right away say, I only pay a quarter of that. Okay. And then again, it depends on when you change. Tại vì nếu mà quý vị mới vào hợp đồng mà mình hạ xuống liền, hoặc là mình stop liền, okay, gonna be trouble. Còn như nếu mà mình đã đóng một thời gian rồi, okay, and tùy theo cái số tiền mà quý vị đóng á, maybe a few months, maybe a few years, sometimes you can pause the billing for a few months or years, or you can stop early. So again, it depends on when you do it. Okay. The death benefit is also adjustable. Okay, so you can increase or decrease it when your needs change. What does that mean? Well, maybe when you're young, you buy it, you don't really need that high of a death benefit. And then you start getting married, and now you have kids, and now you bought another house, and so now you've got a mortgage, and a lot of people are depending on you, which means you're going to need more coverage. Okay, so unlike whole life, which is mình mua chừng đó, mình đóng chừng đó, that's it. Quý vị không có thay đổi được nha. Còn bên Universal Life, cái tiền mình đóng vào mình thay đổi được. Cái tiền tử mình cũng thay đổi luôn. Okay, allowed, that's allowed. Chị Kim hỏi là nếu mà chị muốn hạ death benefit xuống phải làm sao? Chị có IUL. Well, it depends. It depends on whether or not you can. You should talk to your agent. You should talk to your agent. They should help you with that. They can help you figure out, is it a good idea to bring it down right now? What happens to your policy? Will it end early? Are you still covered for life? Will you still have cash? Okay, agent should do that for you. All right. The potential for higher cash value growth. Okay, this depends on the interest rates and the policy performance. So if you compare it to whole life, the potential for more cash value is greater with the universal policy. The cons, complexity. It is complex. Requires active management and understanding of how fees impact cash value. Now, people who don't understand or know much about IUL, for instance, or universal, people who can only sell you term, people can only sell whole life, will talk a lot about the fees in an IUL. We'll talk a lot about surrender fees. And they across the board, they just say it's bad, it's too expensive. Too expensive compared to what? If you know what you're looking at, if you know how it affects the policy, then you can make a good comparison. Còn mấy người mà chỉ là bán whole life thôi, họ cứ nói là IUL là nó cái expense nó cao quá. What are you talking about? If you're talking about life insurance, whole life is actually more expensive. So if you're comparing something, you need to know what you're talking about. You know me, a pet peeve of mấy người, people who don't know what they're talking about, and yet they talk a lot. You know who you are. Mm-hmm. Fluctuating costs. So insurance fees can increase, impacting the cash value. Again, if you know how it works and you know what you're doing, meaning how you should be paying your premium, then it's not the big problem everyone says it is. If you understand, if you do it right. Okie dokie, rồi. Now let's talk about index universal life. So it's universal, but it's index universal, IUL. What the heck is this thing? IUL and Universal Life are both types of permanent life insurance. They both offer flexible premium and death benefit options. So you can change that, right? The main difference between the two is how the cash value grows. Okay, so universal and index universal. Main difference is how the cash value grows. With universal life, the cash value earns interest based on the market with a minimum interest rate. And what you get is the greater of the two. Oh my gosh, look, see, that's IUL right there. Cash value earns returns based on how stock indexes perform with the minimum or the floor. And sometimes, not all the time. Okay. So when people, I meet with people and they have done a little research, and I can tell when it's outdated research because they ask me about a cap and I say, oh, no, this is a no cap. What? No, there's got to be a cap. There's always a cap. No, there isn't. Yeah. So sometimes a maximum rate of return, which is the cap. So it's the floor and a ceiling. Okay. Not always. There's not always a ceiling. IUL policies capture market exposure through derivative market products. That's a mouthful. Such as options, instead of being directly in the market, okay? So it's not stocks. That's why you can't lose your money. Okay, so IUL policies are not subject to the same risk of market loss as other securities. But they also don't include dividend payments like dividend paying stocks. Okay, this like it has to all make sense. Here are the pros and cons. Potential for higher returns because gains are linked to market performance. Okay, there's that floor. Zero is your hero. Floor limits exposure to market downturns. The cash value grows tax deferred. Remember, tax deferred means you don't have to pay taxes now. Okay. So when they say something grows tax deferred, that means, because there are accounts where you will be taxed every year on the gains that you've made, not inside life insurance. Okay. And it can be used tax free. So you can use the money tax free. Again, follow the rules, know how to do it. Cons, complexity. Okay, understanding caps, floors, index strategies, that requires effort. Now, you're not going to be able to do it on your own. I mean, unless you're an agent. And trust me, there are many agents who don't know. Okay? There are many agents who've been in the business many, many, many years who don't know. They haven't done their homework. Okay? I call them lazy agents because what do? They just sell a policy. They just need to sell a policy, so they sell a policy. They haven't looked and read and understood what everything meant. Maybe their clients didn't ask them the hard questions. I'm sorry, there are a lot of bad agents out there. And it's unfortunate because those bad agents have given the industry a bad name and word of mouth. So a bad agent writes a bad policy, a customer or a client is very unhappy, and then they go out and they talk, and then the industry gets a bad rap because there are bad apples. Okay? Nên cái gì cũng vậy, mình không biết thì thôi. Đừng nói. Gần như thật sự ai mà giỏi nếu không biết thì đi tìm hiểu chứ. You gotta learn. Okay? Nên cái này á, nếu mà mình tự hiểu một mình á, it might be a little difficult. So it is going to take you effort, or you need a good agent or a good financial advisor. Can limit the potential upside during strong market performance if you have a cap. So yes, it can. And in the past, it was a big deal. Now there are products that don't have a cap. You still have a floor. And sometimes the caps can be very high. Like one of the carriers I use right now, the cap on their S&P 500 is 11 point something, maybe an 11 and a half, something like that. And that's pretty good, right? So having a cap isn't necessarily bad. Again, you got to know what you're looking at. Okie dokie. So here's the wrap up, okay, on an IUL. IUL policies offer policyholders more flexibility in how they manage it, such as the ability to adjust or even skip premiums when cash value amounts are sufficient. Okay, this could even eventually lead to a zero cost policy where all the premiums are paid for by the built up cash value. IUL policies may also have higher fees and costs than universal life policies because they're more complicated to manage. Okay, let's talk a little bit about fees. I like to point them out, fees and charges, because that's important. And again, if you know what you're looking at, then you can make a smarter decision. Is this worth it? How much money are you putting in? What does your family get paid if you die? What if you live too long? Holy moly, what if you only pay 10 years, but you live until you're 100? What happens? Take a look at it. It's just math. Okay. And then, unrelated to life insurance, but in talking about fees and stuff, everyone wants to do it on the cheap. Không có ai thích trả tiền phí. I know that. I don't like paying fees either. But there are instances where I do want to pay them. Why? Because I know I'm going to get something better than if I was getting it for free. So, like if you have a financial advisor who's actually working for free, something's going on. Something's going on. Everyone who works deserves to get paid. But when you're talking about a fee for something like, say, your hair. Okay, look, I make dark roots look good. I'm going to pay a professional to do my hair because I don't want to screw it up and I don't have the time. I don't have the expertise. No one blinks an eyelash at that. I pay the gardener because I don't have the time and and I just don't want to. Okay, so we pay people for their work. Why do people not want to pay a financial advisor to grow their money? Like, why when people hear that, they think, oh no, I don't want to do that. I'm gonna do it myself. Holy moly, you don't want to cut your own hair, but you're gonna handle your finances and investing that you know nothing about by yourself. It doesn't make sense. Nên quý vị nhớ nha, mình trả tiền cho rất là nhiều người, họ chuyên môn về cái này, chuyên môn về cái kia. Nhưng tại sao khi mình nói chuyện về tài chính, mình nghĩ mình tự mình làm được. So last week I spoke to a woman who lost $500,000, more than $500,000. Okay? And she just said it was the biggest mistake of her life. It sure is. You know why? Because she's in her 70s now. And she came to me for help. What can I do to help her? And she showed me the statements that she had only 2 years ago. She had all this money, and now it's all gone. All gone. And when I found out what happened to it, I said, well, I'm not surprised because I talk to a lot of clients who are doing that right now. And right now they're doing okay, so they're feeling good. Please do not take unnecessary risks with something as important as your retirement. Okay. Yes, đúng. Good financial advisors are hard to find. You're absolutely right about that. You are right. Yep. Good insurance agents are also very hard to find. Very hard to find. But we're out here. Okay? We're out here. You look for a person who's going to help you. You look for a person who has your best interest in mind. How do you know that? Well, you don't know. Okay, you don't know, but talk to them. Do they know their stuff? When you ask questions, do they actually answer or do they kind of skirt around it and want to talk about something else? Okay, are they available to you? Are they trying to push you into buying something? Okay. Quý vị hiểu cái chữ fiduciary không? Fiduciary. Fiduciary. Okay. These are people like my husband who are bound by law to do what's best for their clients. Okay. Not everyone operates like this. There are people who probably should be in prison by the way they've handled people's money. But not only that, know where you're putting your money. I'm not going to name names, but keep this in mind wherever you're putting your IRA and all that other stuff is. Where is it being invested? Okay, maybe you're doing one of those self-managed accounts. Because why? Because you really don't want to pay an advisor like 1% to handle your money. So you're going to do it yourself. You're going to fill in these, and then someone does it automatically in La La Land. Okay. What is it being invested in? Are you holding it at a company that's only investing most of your money in its own products? Quý vị hiểu không? Mình đi với hãng A mà cái tiền tại vì mình không có muốn là trả cái phí cho một người chuyên môn làm cho mình, nên mình làm cái kiểu mà automatic hoặc là tự làm. Okay, mấy cái automatic, nhất là mấy cái hãng, mình phải nhìn lại. What kind of funds are they in? Are they in the funds that are owned by the company where your money is? I'm not saying that that's completely bad. I'm saying pay attention to that. Hoặc là mình nên đi một chỗ, no products, so that when they buy and sell for you, they're doing what they think is right, what they think is best, not what the company's bottom line is involved in. Okay? All right. Oh, I just get all heated up when I talk about this. Either that or it's very hot. Okay. Who should consider whole life? People looking for guaranteed coverage and premiums. Okay? Now remember, with those guarantees comes a price. People interested in estate planning and leaving a legacy. What that means is you are looking down the road. What are you going to leave back to your children or grandchildren? People who want a stable and predictable cash value growth. Okay, this is important. If someone tells you there's going to be money down the road, please don't just say, oh, great. Please take a look at, oh, really? Can I see about how much? Now, we know it's not guaranteed. Oh, but some are guaranteed. And if you are in a guaranteed product, look at the numbers. Okay? I am shocked at how many people don't look at numbers. They just say, oh, okay, great. And then 15, 20 years down the road, they go in there and the money that's available to them is less than what they've paid in. I see it happen all the time. Okay, so who should consider universal life? Obviously, because it's so flexible, those who are seeking flexibility in their policy. People who are comfortable with managing cash value investments or who have an advisor or an agent to help them. Okay? Have confidence in your agent, because unfortunately, a lot of people I talk to bought policies from people they know, like a cousin or a sister's best friend or sister's husband, whatever. And it didn't turn out very well. So look past the personal relationship that you may have. You should never buy something because you want to help somebody. They should be helping you. Do not buy a life insurance policy to help the agent. Do it to help your family. Yeah. People who anticipate changing financial needs over time. Okay. That means if you buy your life insurance and you are pretty sure that your life is not going to change, then you may want to go with whole life. If you think your life may change, Like, oh, you might get married. Oh, you might have children. Oh, your income might change. Then maybe you consider universal. That way you can still keep the same policy, but make changes to it. Who should consider an IUL? Again, people who want flexibility. People who are planning their estate. That means, again, you're looking at what you have, what you want to leave back. Or people looking for retirement income. Oh, I like that word. It's the first time we heard of the word income. What? Income from a life insurance policy? Mm-hmm. Yes, if you do it correctly. Okay? I like that. Cautious investors. IUL policies allow investors to tie the cash value of their policy to the performance of a stock or bond index without directly investing in the market. So this can provide stock market growth without the risk. See, this is my favorite thing about IUL. Like, I can see market-like returns. That means market-like growth without the risk. Again, what do I mean when I say without the risk? That means if the market crashes, you're not going to go negative. They're not going to go in there and say, hey, market lost 20%. I'm going to go in here and take 20% of your cash value. Okay? That would be a variable policy. Okay? So that's the 0% floor, the guaranteed 0% floor. That means you can't go under zero. That means worst you can do is not make any interest that year. They're not going to go in and take money out because the market crashed. They will go in and take money out for your cost of insurance. Okay, if you're no longer paying premiums. Again, we just have to know how it works. And then people who want tax-free gains. So death benefits are always tax-free. And if done correctly, the gains inside life insurance can be yours tax-free. In another video, I'll kind of do a deeper dive into that. But this exists. Just because you haven't heard about it, just because you don't know about it, doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Okay? People have said, I have clients who are CPAs. I have clients who are accountants who had never heard of it before. Okay? And then I have clients who, oh, how come my tax guy didn't know about this? Because it's not their thing. They're not licensed for it. Like, not everyone knows everything. You can't expect your accountant to know all these investment things or everything about insurance. It doesn't work that way. Okay. Okay. Does anyone have questions? Am I done here? Let me see. Am I done? Oh, you can have a free consultation. If you have a policy already, just take a look at it. You can send it to me. I can take a look at it. I can show you what you're looking at. Most people, what do? They throw away their statement. Died. Okay. Statement comes by, they throw it away. They don't look at it. Because they don't know what they're reading. They're like, automatically pays for my bank account anyway. There's a lot of good information on that statement to tell you how your policy is doing. If you have had a policy for a long time and your agent isn't contacting you like at least once a year, I think you need a new agent. If, oh my gosh, 10 years goes by, or, oh my gosh, you heard me on YouTube and you're like, oh, hey, I have a life insurance policy. I wonder what's in it. Send it to me and I can show you what to look for. Okay, I can show you, like, if you plan on taking money down the road, is that possible with the policy that you have now? Okay. Okay, so there is my email and my phone number. By the way, I give up my phone number to make it easier because there are like older Vietnamese who don't like to do email, and there are just some people who prefer to call or text or whatever. Nhưng mà trước sau mình cũng phải cần email để làm việc nha. But don't be one of those guys. And one of these days I should just, because you sent it to me, I should just post the pictures and the silly messages I get from people. And most of the time it's like a lot of men standing in front of a nice car, and they just text me a picture of themselves in front of a car. Delete report as junk. Delete report as junk. Hi, Sandy. Sandy is from Iowa. Hi, Vincent. Yes, this is a new VanMay logo. Thanks for noticing. Quý vị thấy không? Do you guys like it? Do you guys like my new VanMay? Here, let's see it, put it back on the screen. Well, it's up there too. It's up there too. You lie. So yes, and we've got exciting things coming up. Oh, we got such exciting news. I can't wait to share it. If anyone has any questions, please feel free. Yeah. Someone said because they think they know how to manage their own money, but they don't know everything about it. Absolutely. Absolutely. And like, so I would say, like, do you cut and color your own hair? Of course not. Well, why not? Because I don't know what I'm doing. I can't it'll make it look bad. Làm hư tóc, trời. Your hair is going to grow back. So then what do you know about investing? What do you know about taxes? What do you know about retirement? Nothing. And yet, like, they don't want to pay someone to grow their money. By the way, when you pay the fee, the incentive for, and this is not me, so I'm talking about a person like my husband who is a financial advisor who does stocks and treasury ladders and bonds and mutual funds and all that other stuff. Okay, they get paid a percentage so that his I'll just talk about him. His incentive is to grow your money, because if he grows your money and you have more money, he makes more money. So if he does something and he lose your money, that's money out of his pocket too. So your goals are aligned. Okay? So yeah, it's shocking to me. Like, some people don't think, like if you have $1 million that you're going to invest, and that's a lot of money. So 1% of $1 million is $10,000 spread over a whole year for someone to grow the heck out of that money. And you think that's too much? Are you kidding me? Right? So people who think that it's they're going to go the cheap way and do it themselves. Oh, it actually costs you a lot of money. It actually costs you a lot of money. Normally several hundred thousand, and then people come to me. Okie dokie. Nếu mình đầu tư và tự mua term insurance, có thể đơn giản hơn nhiều, có thể phải trả thuế nhưng không bị expense. No, you're wrong rồi. Đầu tư và tự mua life insurance. Term life. Okay, what do you know about term life? Why do you think term life is so cheap? Là tại vì thường á, người ta không có mất trong cái term. Okay? Mà thường á là when they don't pay out, that means it doesn't cost them anything. Bao nhiêu người mua term thì cái tiền nó là cái phí, okay? Là gone. And most people don't die within the term. That's why it's so cheap. And then if you want to continue that in old age, when you're more likely to die, when there's more likely to be a payout, term insurance becomes very expensive. So I have had several people là cứ thinking like this, cứ là term, rồi renew, rồi term, and then they're like 67, so expensive. And guess what? They can't afford it. Or if you look down the road, what's going to happen to your premiums when you hit like 80? Right? You get to a point where your life where you're more likely to die. Okay. Nhưng mà and again, I'm just reading again what this person is saying because they don't want to. They're okay paying taxes, but they don't want to pay any of their expenses to for of an agent or insurance companies. But it's not the same thing. It is not the same thing. Come talk to me when you're 85, very sick, got no money for sickness, no money for retirement, or you've lost your money in the market. You've got nothing to fall back on. And certainly, you'd no longer have a death benefit to your family. Okay. I'm not saying term insurance is bad. Term insurance makes a lot of sense depending on the situation. Okay. Some people have whole life universal and a term just to add to their coverage because they owe a lot of money on their home right now, maybe. But if you can't afford it, you should be getting permanent insurance. You don't have to have a family. You don't have to have anyone to leave it back to. You can use the money while you're alive. Okay, quý vị nhớ, hồi xưa nha, tiền tử thôi, that's it. You had to die for someone to benefit. Not anymore. Bây giờ nếu mà mình không có con cháu and cho là mình single luôn. You know why it's important for single people to get it? It's because if you get sick down the road, you won't got anyone to take care of you. You're going to need money for long-term care. Yes, you will. And in retirement, you could be using tax-free the cash that is in your policy. Okay? So again, if you know a lot, share it. If you don't know anything, then don't be talking like that. Lena, this is Travis. I'm assuming that the reason your withdrawals are tax-free is because the government considers that the loss of potential earnings because you're no. So I'm going to go into this maybe in the next video, talking about tax code 7702. Tax code 7702. Look it up, y'all. Okay? There's a formula that the IRS has come up with so that the money that you make within a life insurance policy can remain tax-free. That's why when you max fund an IUL, we bring the death benefit down to the lowest allowed by law to keep it tax-free so that you can get cash gains on it. All right. Sandy, when should I cancel my State Farm life insurance? If it's from what I remember, you should have already called them and told them not to withdraw your money anymore. And you can, this is a great question, actually. When you get new life insurance, and let's say you didn't do an exchange or anything, it's just you got a new life insurance, okay? If there's value that you can't take out, so we're not talking cash value, we're talking accumulated or policy value, you can keep it until it runs out. Let it lapse. And during that time, you have coverage from both policies. Now, if there's nothing left and you've got new coverage, yeah, cancel it. And Sandy, if I recall correctly, that policy just did nothing for you, right? So you already have coverage now. You can now cancel it. Thun says, term life is only to protect family while the children young. At 60, I would not need term life any longer. Right. But you're assuming you don't need life insurance at all. And that is a huge mistake. Okay. You don't know what your situation is like. So let's say you're married. Okay. Let's say you're married and I don't know. What kind of income do you have? And if your spouse doesn't work or doesn't have a lot of retirement income and it was only you, and then you've got nothing else and you die, then you kind of leave your spouse without money. If you're okay with that, then you're okay with that. A lot of people aren't. A lot of people want to protect their families. A lot of people realize the worst thing is actually if you don't die and you get sick. And then now your husband or wife has to stay home from work to take care of you. or you have to hire a nurse to come and feed you. That's money. As they say, that's cash money, baby. You know why? Because your insurance is not going to cover it. And we are living longer. And the longer we live, the more people will need long-term care. And so if there's a way that you can get money to pay for those kinds of costs without actually having to pay for long-term care insurance, why wouldn't you? And then if you don't get sick, then you use the cash. Right? So it looks like you haven't actually sat down to see what the other options are. Like, it's fine if you're okay with that. Yeah, because over 70, you can't afford term. Don't even talk about getting term at 70 because you won't be able to afford it. Doesn't matter how rich you are, you're not going to be able to afford it because I've seen the numbers. Okay, so like if you're okay dying and leaving nothing left to anyone, or what if you don't die at 70 something? Like, what if you sống dài, bây giờ mình sống đến 90 tuổi, you can live to 90, then what? Then what? Did you make enough money in your investments to last you all the way until 90? Figuring in inflation and the taxes that you're going to owe on those investments? Did you make enough money? Do you have so much cash that if you have to pay $100,000 medical bill, you can still do that? Phải không? So it's not just death. We're not talking about just death. We're talking about money if you're sick. We're talking about money if you live too long. Okay, so there's a lot more to life insurance than just a death benefit. Anyone who's just singing death benefit, you haven't looked at anything else. Right? So contact me so I can show you, because you're going that way, but there are many ways to get there. Many ways to get there. Sandy says tax code is a federal code or state? It's an IRS. It's federal. Tax code 7702. Yep. Okie dokie. Sandy says, you shine the light about life insurance because you're trustworthy. Well, Sandy, thank you. Thank you very much. Okay. So it's a lot of information. And I know that there are people who, like at some point, someone told them something and then that's it. It stuck with them and they never wanted to open their minds and open their ears to any other kind of information. Well, that's unfortunate. That's unfortunate. Okay? Like, for instance, why do rich people have so much insurance? Like, are they stupid? Are they dumb? Phải không? Mấy người giàu họ có rất là nhiều bảo hiểm nha. Mình nghĩ sao? Mình nghĩ họ ngu hay sao vậy? Right? The more you have, the more coverage you need. Why is that? So unless you think your life is not worth anything, and if you do that, we do have a number you can call. Like, I'm going to do another video on that, on how to figure out how much coverage is enough. There are several ways that you can do it. And that's important because who knows? Like, how do you know how much coverage you need? There are actually several formulas that you can use. But very simply, make this comparison. If you drive a nice car, okay, is the insurance on that car going to be higher? Yes. Why? Because you're buying more coverage. So they wouldn't allow you, but if they allowed you to, and you bought just enough insurance to I don't want to offend any car owners out there. If you bought just enough to cover a Pinto, remember those? If you bought enough insurance to cover a Pinto, but you're driving a Mercedes and then you crash it, then what? Then it doesn't do you any good. You've not protected yourself. You've not protected your car. It's kind of worthless. Okay, so you needed more. If you live in a nice, big mansion and you bought enough coverage for like a mobile home and not the double wide, then you are underinsured. If something happens, you don't have enough. So when you're talking about life insurance, actually, the more you have, the more assets you have, the more insurance you need. Because take you out of the equation. If you are the income earner, okay, you're the main breadwinner for your family, and take you out of the equation, what happens to your family? Where's the money come from? And then, and that's if you die. By the way, I remind people all the time, when one of the two dies, like the costs stay the same. If your mortgage isn't going to be half because he's no longer alive. Okay, people need to remember that. And then what if you don't die and you just get so sick that people have to take care of you? What if you have to go into a nursing home because your wife at home can't take care of you? Where does that money come from? It's going to come from your bank, and then you're going to go bankrupt if you don't have insurance money to cover for it. Okay? If you are working right now and you've got kids, they don't have to be young. They don't have to be super young. But if you're saving for their college, if you are planning on helping them and then you die, then what happens? What happens? What, the kids don't go to school? There goes their future? So there's a lot to think about. And never buy insurance from someone who's going to pressure you into anything, first of all. If anything, my approach is so different from that. Sometimes people get mad. It's like, oh, well, she must not need my business, or she don't. No, it's not that. I'm here. Here's the information. If you need help, then let me know and I'll help you. Don't forget to factor in inflation. That's right. Well, most people don't know how. My husband has, when he does these financial plans, and he's done one for us, it's amazing because he does it in future dollars. And not many people can do that. Future dollars means he's factored in inflation. He has factored in taxes. So when he tells me, okay, you're going to be able to make $250,000 a year when you're, 70, whatever, like that's future dollars. Okay. Okay. Very good. There's just so much information. Now I got to remember, next time I'm going to do a video on how to figure out how much coverage you need, and 7702. 7702. Agree, G. I saw a gentleman who used a flip phone, but he told me he had all kinds of insurance. What do you mean? Oh, yeah. Federal tax is free for IUL. Do we still pay state tax? No. So again, you've got to do it correctly. So let's assume that you're doing correctly. No, there are no taxes. There are no taxes. Okay, that's one of the few places where you can actually invest, make money, and not owe taxes. Okay? And it's legal. Don't blame the people who know what they're doing. Don't blame the people who have, a tax attorney, a financial advisor, a CPA, a this or that, or this or that. They have a whole team of people working for them, telling them what to do. Don't blame them. Why? Because they're paying those people. I have a tax strategist. Does anyone have a tax strategist? Not a tax preparer. Not someone to tell me how much to pay. A tax strategist to save me money so that I don't have to pay. And I pay him a lot of money, and it's worth it because he knows his stuff. So I pay him a lot of money, and it's worth it because he saves me a lot of money. So it also makes sense for me to pay someone to make me money. Show me the money. Okay. IUL is tax-free income. Yes. Yes, it is. Again, doing it right. doing it right. Sandy says, my husband had cancer without any term, life, or universal. Yeah. Unfortunately, I also have a lot of clients who, one, got denied a long time ago. By the way, if you've ever been denied coverage, do not think that you cannot get coverage. I have gotten coverage for many people who were declined. Okay? I know I'm like, I don't talk about my clients. I'm telling you, like, they are so happy. They are beyond the moon that I could get them coverage. And it's because I fight for them. I go back and forth with these underwriters. And I'm very thorough when I talk to my clients. I'm very thorough when I do the application. I do cover letters. Like, I have a relationship with these carriers and the underwriters. My stuff gets through fast. I'm not the type to fill out an application, send it in, and if it gets declined, say, oh, well, and look for the next client. Like, that's not taking care of your people. And unfortunately, so many people do that. And it's sad. It's also sad that people don't understand a thing about life insurance, and they go out and they say life insurance is a scam. If you guys follow me on Facebook, there was some guy. In fact, someone pointed out that his Facebook profile looked like a scam because, on the no face people. Sandy, and it was my pleasure. So Sandy is one of my clients, and I fought for her. I really, really fought for her, and the result was amazing. The result was better than even I expected. So, and that brings me joy. Like, I love doing that. So, Sandy, it was my pleasure. Lena, our clients that have pre-existing conditions still eligible for an IUL, such as diabetes, heart disease, and cancer. If they have cancer now, they cannot get life insurance. Okay. And depending on the carrier, they have to be maybe 3, depending on the cancer, 5 years cancer free, and they can get coverage. Okay. I have a lot of clients who have diabetes. And by the way, more and more Vietnamese are becoming diabetic. Please be careful. Please get coverage before that happens. I do have people who have diabetes. Yes, I can get coverage. Heart disease, again, depending on what it is. Okay. I've had a client who's had surgery, like heart valve surgery, and I got him coverage. Okay. It took me like 3 months, but I got him coverage. So a good agent is your partner in this. A good agent works for you, not the insurance company. There's a big, big difference. I'll talk about that another time too. Okay, you guys. I'm already talked so much tonight. Okay, this is called Feeding the Ducks, and I like it. I appreciate you watching. If you haven't yet, you know what to do. Only once. Only once. You push that like only once. Or 3 times, but not 2 times. Even numbers, bad. Odd numbers, good. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. Tell your friends about us. Like, those of you who have followed me a long time know I am all for making our community stronger. And if there is something that is going to benefit our community, I'm bringing it to you. Okay? And I want people to learn. Like, don't just trust me and buy something. I want to explain it. I want to talk to you about it. I want you to tell me what I just explained. I want you to understand it. I want you to feel empowered. Tiffany, thank you. So we'll see you next time. By the way, y'all, I'm going to be in Vegas, and it's going to be an awesome, awesome week in Vegas for the company. And I'll share it to you when I come back. Mwah. Bye, everybody. Have a good night and good day in Vietnam.